Hello everybody, this is ZigZagZog coming to you from somewhere in this world. We're back to continue our playthrough of Empire Total War featuring Darthmod and the 40 unit save version, and we are playing as Poland. And we had a nice kind of easy expansion last turn. We were able to just kind of walk in, get Breslau to surrender. We had a couple minor little skirmishes, but for a change we're going to open right up on this battle, or this episode, with the battle for Prague. We have our army that took over Breslau that's in very good shape because of the surrender, and we also have a pretty decent force over here by the Austrians. However, we pretty much match up, slightly outnumber, and then what tips the balance for sure is we do have our protectorate over here, which I'm counting on reinforcing our battle as we make the move. So why don't we just do it and find out if my suspicions or my hopes are correct and get this battle for Prague going. Alright, they did decide they're going to come in and help us reinforce, and because of that we'd have a distinct advantage. The part where they have the advantage is being the home city and coming with those 3 extra mortar regiments. That kind of tips the balance if I had not been able to gain the reinforcements. So I'm very thrilled about that. I don't think there's going to be any surrender. No, that would have been kind of silly on their part to have surrendered. Let's get the battle begun. We'll see you down there. Alright, the opening starting position at this point is right on the other side of the village. Their setup point is going to be exactly on the other side of the village. The nice thing about our setup, we have a little bit of this notch of high ground, which should allow us some clearance to shoot above or behind the city. They'll have some hidden paths and whatnot through the city, but on the right, 3 regiments of our line infantry, or 4 regiments of our line infantry. On the left, 3 regiments of our line infantry. Our reserves in this case are the 4 regiments of militia. We also have on each flank, we have one of our regiments of foot for the pikemen, and we have 2 regiments of cavalry on the left flank, 1 regiment of cavalry on the right flank, and our general's bodyguard in the middle. So it's a very balanced line. Decided to go with a balanced line, not mess around with it because of the city, just because we seem to have a little bit of a height advantage. One thing we do want to do is make sure our cannons are ready to fire right from the get-go. And let's get this thing going. Let's find out how they set up. Let's see if we can manage to make this happen. And then more importantly, it looks like over here is where our reinforcements are going to be entering the battle. So they'll actually be coming in on the flank on this side, hence the reason for only the single regiment of horse over here. Otherwise we have a balanced line. Let's get it going. Let's go see where their artillery is set up. They're in a horrible depression down here, so hopefully we might want to look at riding in there right away and seeing if we can't take them out. Right now, I think their artillery would be pretty well hidden from us. We'll try around down here. This is the mortars. Actually, it's the mortars. That's not a problem. In fact, their mortars are a little bit exposed over here. We're going to take a chance with 1 regiment of horse to see about taking them on. We're going to take our other 2 regiments right down here. See if we can get access to their mortars down here. And then as far as their cannons, they're on the move because they're kind of behind the buildings. They don't have any great lines of sight on us. And then our reinforcements coming in over here, not being under control by us. Okay, we do have some Pandours irregulars over here. Let's get in here and take out this mortar unit, cut down on that advantage that they have. And right now they have no support whatsoever with their mortars, and we're able to ride in and take out that isolated unit. I think we're going to continue this plan with our cavalry over here, since they are leaving it fairly well unprotected. And we have broken them. We're going to come in here to their demi-cannons right here, since we can. There's disorganization in their lines. Try to take away some of their advantages early on, and that's going to be quick. We're gonna do a hasty retreat, because we do have our reinforcements coming in, and we're going to beat a hasty retreat if we can get them to follow orders. Get moving, guys. Get moving. Get moving. Get moving. Okay, we've done our job. Now we have our reinforcements coming in on the wings over here to help us out. Well, let's form up here. Let's run to get out of the fray. And now we can bring back our own cavalry here. Okay, and we've taken them down. We're going to bring our cavalry back out in the flanks. And based on the results of our reinforcements, we have slow to respond cavalry right at the moment. Let's get moving, guys. Let's get moving. And it's really tough watching this fight. It looks like it's almost the same armies other than the emblem on the flag. Otherwise, those flags are practically the same. In fact, we got some cavalry over here. That is causing our slow retreat over here. So let's take on the cavalry. Let's bring in some more support to help us out. And maybe we won't, because we may not be able to move down that hill the way I want. The fun of the terrain in this game. Don't count on it to be your friend. So we have a prolonged cavalry battle right at the moment. We do outnumber them still quite significantly, so one of ours is wavering already. Because we're taking fire from this regiment here. We need to try and pull out if we can once again. It failed us before. Let's try again. Let's move, guys. Let's move. Move, guys. Move. I would prefer not to have my cavalry wiped out here. Okay, that regiment of horse, the provincial cavalry has broken, and we are on the move. The force that was tying us up has been relieved. Uh-oh. Oh, that's Saxony. Not a problem. We're going to rebuild our lines, and then we are going to advance on our own as a cohesive force. As they're kind of split up and broken up and moving through the city, and we will let our forces of Saxony take them on the wings as we just little by little advance under control. Okay, we're going to take our left flank, and we are going to advance now up to the edge of the city. Yeah, we're going to do it post haste at a run to get ourselves in position. We're going to also bring up our reserves behind for support as needed. Looks like we have some cavalry. The provincial cavalry that we did battle with has moved against us here. Disrupting our lines getting set, but we're going against these two regiments of militia, so I would think that we should take care of them quite quickly. We're going to focus our artillery up the center for the moment. Now we're going to get our right flank moving. We're going to come just to the side of the city with this advance. We'll bring our rear line militia back, reserves up over here also, along with our pikemen. Cavalry will be moved forward just so we have a mobile force near the line. And right now our generals stay with cavalry for protection. Allied general has fallen. In fact, we're going to break this militia right now. We're going to bring our cavalry off to the wings and charge on the flank. Let this regiment charge first. Cavalry is veered off. What did I click? What did I press? Charge in, guys. Charge in. That should be sufficient to get them to break. We're going to hold fire. As the militia has broken here. Bring our cavalry back. We're going to bring this unit back on fire at will. And in fact, everybody has broken at this point other than the Pandours over here. And they're about to fall. Now that fire is able to focus on them. There we go. Time to bring our cannon over and focus on this side of the line over here. Okay, we've pretty much, with the force on the left, have taken the city. So let's get our units moving through the city. Moving through the city tends to be just a little bit easier when moving unit by unit, and instead of trying to move via a whole line, getting a whole line to move through the city. And they're kind of gaining a backbone here as they're retreating through the city. So we're going to bring in our cavalry here to kind of continue that feeling of disrupting or disruptment with them. Bring the pikemen far onto the flank over here. And the cavalry is doing its job over here. Let's focus on this militia unit here. See if we can't break them. And then we'll be able to roll up the flank over here. In fact, our reinforcing army is breaking them down extremely well. Doing their job. They've they've reformed out on the flank. We're going to take this unit out in that direction. We have an enemy general killed. And we have broken, finally, this militia unit. Let's get our cavalry out. Oh, we have victory at this point. So we're going to end it. So along with our army over here, the Saxony that has not been under our control, they kept the right flank busy while we broke down the left, and victory is ours. All right, as far as losses go, on our side, 1,572. And we took over the city. How about that? And what we're going to do is we're going to take our army and first of all, we got the funds right now. Let's see about fixing the governor's mansion first. And for morale in the city, let's fix the observatory. And beyond that, we will not repair these two yet. Let's take a look at getting the army replenished from its battle losses here, and let's see if we can afford that. 1,029. Yes, we can. Now we'll go back towards repairing the rest of the city. And there we go. As far as the army, yep. So losses were not as drastic as they could have been, that's for sure. Region captured. As far as the well-being and morale in there, yes, we don't have to exempt it from taxes. It's only 40% Catholic. That's another thing to keep in mind, although the religious unrest is actually at 2 here, not just 1. So that's something to bring under control, and we will, since we can afford it, repair the peasant farms at this site. So we've kind of isolated now Australia just a little bit. I mean Austria. I think I said Australia, excuse me. And I think force-wise, we probably overall, looks like we just might outnumber them unless there's other forces around here we just don't have eyes on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this rake up in this direction, make sure there's nothing we shouldn't know about up in this direction, and it doesn't appear so. We'll bring the rake over here. We're going to bring this rake down this way in case there's armies or reinforcements down in this general direction we should know about, and just their naval forces. So I'm not feeling threatened in the least right now. Our rakes have kind of proven that. So let's come back here, and I should be able to maybe at this point jettison, barring surprises, jettison one of our rakes, because I'm interested in continuing what I wanted to at the very, very beginning, and that is having eyes down in the Ottoman Empire. They have finally moved some forces up here, bordering our territory. Nothing extreme yet, but I do want to keep an eye on them. I don't want to keep an open back door and invite them in. We did last turn get a gentleman, and I want to see about moving that gentleman over towards this school over here. Can't quite make it in one turn, but we'll get him on the move. Okay, and then we will continue. Well, we gave them military access, and they're taking advantage of it. Who knows what and why and where? We're not going to try and figure it out. I think what I might do is maybe we'll come down here, see about holding the bridge. Do we have this force replenished or replenishing? No, since that mid-turn battle we have not, so we're gonna look for recruits and reinforcements here before we don't really want to get up into the midst of things too much here. Although it makes it seem like I might be able to enter this fort uncontested, doesn't it now? If I do that, that'll probably cause the bulk of these armies to come after me. Would that open up a potential march over here by my own forces then, next turn? I think what we'll do is we're gonna sit right here for one more turn. We may look at doing that kind of move in tandem. Now we also have some straggling forces over here that we want to kind of. I think for now we'll use Breslau as kind of a point of meeting. As a matter of fact, no, I will not. What I'm going to do is I also have been noticing Prussia building up forces quite a bit in their two territories over here, and Gdansk is woefully underheld. I would like to get some cannon up here. It's the whole reason that my main army has a couple artillery regiments, and I would like to get a couple artillery regiments ideally over here in Gdansk, and this will get it done, even though I don't think we quite make it. Do we? Do we? Yeah, we're almost there. We're essentially there. Now we hardly have any forces for, or any funds for our armed forces for this turn. What I'm going to do is move you as a reinforcing unit up to Breslau so we can maybe reinforce to Prague. So that's where we're going to move this one. And that may be all my armed forces moves, and since I don't have a whole heck of a lot of cash, I don't think I have much else there. I'm going to take a look through my list, make sure I'm not missing anything, and then we'll head on to another turn. Alrighty, I'm not seeing anything, so it's time for another turn. We'll see you on the other side unless something cool and interesting pops up. Okay, no surprises, nothing interesting happening in between turn. We did find it in us to recruit yet another gentleman, which is a really good thing. And that gentleman's here in Prague that we've gained, so that's good news. As far as any more schools, no, we've got our same schools. And we have some technology advances, so we'll go take a look at those. In fact, I really wasn't interested in researching this one right now. I should have had them up on military syllabus, but since there's only one turn, we'll move up there next. We'll bypass square formation to get up here. Now, do we want the farms to continue there? Yes, that's where we'll go there. And as far as over here, yes, that's where I want to go next, under social contract. Our income is at 4,730. And what they've done is they've left themselves essentially, in my mind, a little bit underprotected over here. As far as can I reach their armies over here, it would appear that I can, and what I'm thinking is I may attack this force outside the capital. The other thing that I have to worry about, though, a little more than that, though, is they're making a march on Warsaw with this army right here. We got to stop Guido von Starhemberg. We got to get him halted in his tracks, and I may temporarily. It's going to be. It's going to make Prussia drool. But what I'm thinking temporarily is we're going to withdraw our forces from Gdansk over towards Warsaw to kind of provide a little protection there. And I think that's how we're gonna deal with it. What I'm going to do, since he's decided to vacate here, we're going to get a little aggressive on their capitals at the same time. We're going to move up and take this fort with these forces over here. And we do have the ability potentially to move on Pressburg in Hungary. And I got to decide, I can't quite reach it with Vienna in the way, but we're putting pressure on these guys. We're putting pressure on these guys. And I'm thinking of bringing this army up, even though they are not recuperated quite yet, and taking battle with Wilfred Weinmann here, and just outside the forts of Vienna, and seeing if we can draw their armies out and really extensively weaken them, kind of making it possible for us to take Vienna. If that sure would be nice now, wouldn't it? So let's give it a go. And we greatly outnumber them. As a matter of fact, is it drawing in any of these guys as reinforcements? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the reinforcements are coming from Pressburg, and the reinforcements are coming from inside the city, the 2 units of Pandors. They do have artillery on the field that we're going to have to be going against, line infantry, skirmishers, and the Pandors, but I think this is something we should be able to handle. So we're going to go down onto the battlefield, and we'll see you down there. All right, this is going to be another city setup battle. What I'm going to do is we'll come right back. This is how the AI decided to set us up. I'm going to figure out how I want to set up around this deployment zone of theirs. We got to be ready for reinforcements coming. Ideally, based on the map, the reinforcements should be coming up behind them, but as we know from prior experience, that doesn't always mean that's going to be the case in this particular battle. So let's come over here, and I will have you guys come back once I complete my setup. Okay, what we're trying to do is we do have our artillery up on the hill, a little bit elevated, so if they're in the city, buildings are always in the way. That's a challenge, but we're a little bit elevated, so at least we have vision over on any open sides, anywhere around the city, and that's why we're setting up this way. Otherwise, we got line infantry in the front, scattered militia covering the centers, pikemen on the flanks, along with cavalry units left and right on the flanks. They do have 1 piece of artillery we have to be aware of. Other than that, it's really keeping an eye open on where the reinforcements are going to be entering from. So let's see their setup. And there is their artillery over here. And they also have a small Albanian unit over there. And they are firing on us right from the start. So we're going to get our cavalry moving. And we are going to get our line moving forward on this side. And the reinforcements, I'm not seeing any reinforcement indicators yet. Oh, it's coming right behind them, center, like we thought. So we're going to get our infantry advancing. Get our cavalry moving up this hill so we can approach their artillery. And as far as through the city, we're going to start advancing, cover certain angles, certain streets through the city. In case the city battle turns a little hand-to-hand, we are going to have our militia nearby, along with the pikemen. We're going to send our cavalry to the back to see if we can't disrupt any reinforcements as the opportunity presents it. We have some provincial horse cavalry. We're going to counter that with our own cavalry. Our artillery, fortunately, seems to be handling things well over here, bombarding them in force and doing some damage. We grossly outnumber them, so I'm hoping we should have things in hand here. Let's speed up our advance here. And now let's get our reserves moving forward. We have pikemen and militia also on this line. And we've caused their cavalry to retreat. We are now going to go against their cannon, and we are going to redirect our own artillery pieces. We'll try targeting targets within the city. They had a cavalry advance trying to advance on our line infantry, and the Albanian warband here looks like they're going to fall soon, and we've disrupted their artillery. And since we've disrupted them, let's go against their provincial horse here. We do outnumber them also, although they got the benefit of a charge. Let's bring this unit. In fact, let's bring these 2 units over on a flanking kind of maneuver at a run. In the militia, whatever or the reason, is wavering here because they're under artillery fire. Well, the artillery has been taken care of, so I don't know what that's all about. But it seems a little massed up back here, so I want to keep our eye on the cannons. It's the provincial cavalry that's causing the biggest challenge for us, and we've got them to waver and run. And we broke this by flanking them, so it's time to bring our line forward to this side of the city. And their forces moving through the city have been repulsed. Our cannon, the range limit for our cannon is out here, so let's focus at a distance towards their advancing reinforcements. In fact, we have these two units. This guy's recovered already. I want to run over here to address that. In fact, we're going to use our cavalry. Now we're going to back our cavalry off with this reinforcements coming in right here. We're going to count on these guys running into position because we're taking flanking fire at the moment. Let's get everybody moving fast because this reinforcement is coming up. We also have line infantry a little bit strung out here, so it's time for us to move ourselves a little bit up through the city and start making some advances as we can. And we have our quieted cavalry over here. We're just going to bring them in to run down their retreating forces. And I think we need to reshift over here at a run. And we're breaking down the Albanian warband over here. Doors are over here. Let's charge into them, break their wall position over here. We also have some irregulars over here. We've taken out an enemy general, and we're going to get our pikemen moved forwards on the wings. Moving through the cities, awkward at best. We've repulsed their reinforcements over here. Time to bring in our cavalry. Try them. Oops, they've reformed. Let's hold off on our cavalry charge. And let's try to bring up on a run our line here to address their reforming. See if we can't knock them out again. And also bring up another part of our line over here to assure that they will break. We're going to take our artillery units. We have some Pandours back here. We're going to see if we can bombard them at a distance. They're coming back to help this charge of ours. And we have some activity going over here that we aren't totally set for. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to charge in here. I think we have the advantage. If we take that path and we got some more line infantry, we're just going to try and overwhelm this unit over here. Since they're isolated, we're going to see if we can't take advantage of them. And we got everybody on the run. Our cavalry needs to get moving so we can run these guys down and limit the amount of reinforcements they're going to get. And we're going to bring one of our cavalry units for a single charge. In fact, they took out this unit. Let's charge on into the irregulars. They shouldn't hold up to a charge worth a darn. They're going to get a few miscellaneous shots at us from a distance as they form up, or they panic and they run, and they're going to let us charge. So it would appear we have everything in hand except for we have a stubborn unit over here And I'm not sure exactly what this is. Oh, it's no wonder it's stubborn. It's line infantry. Let's bring our militia down here to run. We're going to see if we can't charge into their behind and rout them out. We're going to take one of the... Okay, we took care of those Pandors. We're going to come down here and chase down this unit as much as possible. If we can prevent them from retreating, that's going to be that many less units that'll be going back into their settlements for defensive purposes. So that's our goal in running these units down. We're going to continue. I'll come back after we run as many down as possible. Looks like the Albanian warband will get away. All right, we made victory. We chased everybody down that we could, and then there was this like one single soldier unit standing next to this building here. So we all like a firing squad to end this battle. Otherwise, it was continuing to go on because of this one guy. But anyway, close victory. We did tend to take a little bit of casualties. It was hard to keep track of everything. We had some units within the city that struggled a little bit, unbeknownst to me, but we did hold on. There we go. And overall, actually, close victory. It's almost, well, I guess it was a little less than 3-1 as far as the casualties go, but we did come through victorious. And if you ask me, these cities look pretty enticing right now, don't you think? We're going to see if we can follow up here. And we're going to see if they want to surrender right off the bat. Probably not with these kind of forces, but one can always hope. Refused. So this is the next battle be coming up. I think what we're going to do time-wise, I'm pretty sure we've probably gone far enough at this point to not want to start yet another battle in this episode. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold off at this point. This will be our next battle coming up, the battle for Vienna. So I hope you enjoyed today's progress. We got some slightly larger battles than we've had last time, and we're hopefully going to be capturing even more territories here pretty quick and turning the screws to Austria. This is ZigZagZog signing off from somewhere in this world. Thanks so much for watching, and I really do hope to see you next time.